Hey guys, welcome to the Have a Go Boxing Talk Show. Today I'm going to be talking about lots of different news from around the world, local as well, profiling boxers, different boxers. Eventually I want to do interviews with boxers as well, from national and interstate and international too. So I want to use this show to platform boxing in Australia to the world and show keep everyone up to date. Okay, one of the first things I want to talk about, we just had the Olympics recently over in Tokyo. So the standout things for me with the Olympics is that we had 5 Australian boxers go to the Olympics and end up getting a bronze medal. Harry Garside got a bronze medal, and then also New Zealand had one boxer, and that boxer, David Nakia, he went into the, I think it got to the semi-finals and he won a bronze medal. He lost in the semi-finals, got a bronze medal as well. Also with the Australians, they were supposed to send another boxer, Justice Hooney, but everyone knows about him. He fought Paul Gallen and he broke his hand in that fight and he couldn't go. But hopefully, Justice Hooney, he'll go a bit further, or not a bit further, I hope we go all the way to a world title, and hopefully he's got some big fights coming up. Okay, so I want to just talk about the Olympics first. With the Olympics, it was really good. I watched a few fights. I liked all the finals. With the results, there were female fights as well. So with the females in the, I just have a look on here. The flyweight, the women's flyweight division. The winner was Sofia Krusteva, I think that's how you say it, from Bulgaria. She beat in the final Buz from Naz Kurgula or something like that from Turkey. So gold was Bulgaria, silver was Turkey, bronze was Chinese Taipei and Japan. Then the next weight, women's featherweight, gold was Sina Ari from Japan, silver was Nessie Petasio, I think how you say it. She was from Philippines, and the bronze were Irma Testa, Italy, and Karis Artenstall, Great Britain. That division, we actually had Australian in that one. Sky Nicholson, she lost to the bronze medalist Karis Artenstall. Then we have women's lightweight. Callie Harrington from Ireland, I actually saw that fight. That was a really good fight. She beat Beatriz Ferreira from Brazil. So gold was Ireland, silver was Brazil, then bronze was Thailand, and Finland was the other bronze. Then women's welterweight. So women's welterweight was gold Bunsinaz, I think it says, Sumanelli from Turkey, and beat Gu Hong from China. And the bronze medalists were Zelina from India and O'Shea Jones from United States. Then women's middleweight, Lauren Price from Great Britain and beat Li Quan from China. So that's gold and silver. And then the bronze medals from Netherlands and ROC, which was Russian Olympic Committee. Then we get into the men's flyweight. Men's flyweight, I actually saw this fight. It was Gal Yapai. He beat Carlo Palam from Philippines. And then the bronze was from Japan and Kazakhstan. That fight was really good. Galao Yapai, he's a really good fighter from Great Britain. He'll probably go real big in the pros, probably under someone like Eddie Hearn, because his brothers are both pros as well. Then we go men's featherweight. Gold was Albert Batagrezev from Russia, and then Duke Reagan was from United States with silver, and then you got Ghana and Cuba with the bronze. Then men's lightweight, which was a really good fight, I like this one, was Andy Cruz. He beat the American Keyshawn Davis, and then the bronze were Armenia and Australia, which Harry Garside, he lost his fight to Andy Cruz, the gold medalist, and I think he's a world champion as well, and a couple times Olympic medalist. Then in, what was the next one, sorry, I think men's welterweight. Yeah, welterweight, men's welterweight, just skip one. Men's welterweight was Ronald Iglesias from Cuba and Pat McCormick, Great Britain, gold and silver. Then the bronze were from Ireland and Russia. Then men's middleweight, Herbert Sosa from Brazil beat Alexander Kruzniak from Ukraine. And then you had Philippines and Russia as the bronze medalists. One of the bronze medalists from Philippines was, I think you say his name, Umar Mercial. He actually trains with Freddie Roach in America because he's a pro. I think he's had about 5 pro fights. At these Olympics, there were a few pros in there too. I remember watching, I think it was IBF Bantamweight champion. She lost to one of the pros and actually got stopped by her. No, actually lost on points. Their men's light heavyweight was Arlen Lopez of Cuba, beat Ben Whitaker of Great Britain. So gold was Cuba, silver Great Britain, and then the bronze were Russia and Azerbaijan. Then in the heavyweight division was Julio La Cruz, Cuba, beat Muslim Grazhimagolov or something from Russia, and the bronzes were New Zealand and Brazil. The New Zealand was David Nika or Nika, whatever they say it. And then last was super heavyweight Bakodir Javalov from Uzbekistan versus Richard Torres Jr. from the States, from America. Then the bronze medals were Fraser Clark and another guy from Kazakhstan, I can't even say his name. So bronze medals were Great Britain and Kazakhstan. So that was all the medals and all the finals. So the medal tally, you had for Cuba, they won 4 golds, so they come out on top, and 1 bronze. Then Great Britain, they went really good too. They had 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. Russia was 1 gold, 1 silver, 4 bronze. Brazil 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Turkey 1 gold, 1 silver. Japan 1 gold, 2 bronze. Ireland 1 gold, 1 bronze. Then you got lots of other countries that won bronze and silver and stuff. Like New Zealand was down there and Australia. So all in all, the Olympic Games, the boxing was really good. Some of the officiating, I don't like to comment too much on officiating, but a lot of people were not talking bad about it, but reckon there wasn't really good officiating. I don't like to have opinion on that because I'm a referee and judge as well, and I don't like to comment about other people and put other people down because they're doing just the same job as me, and I don't want people saying things about me either. I wouldn't want that to happen. So, well, with the Olympics, that was good, and next one 3 years time, so that's really good. So I'm going to get on to some more news. I'm just going to get out of this. I'm using my laptop for all these results, so I know what's happening. I'm going to go, okay, so the first thing I want to talk about with international news, and it's professional international news. The big thing that come out today is that the Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao fight is off. Apparently Errol Spence on here, I'll have a look into it. I think they said he done something to his eye, his retina, and now Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Yordenis Ugas, which he's a WBA welterweight champion, which Manny Pacquiao was, and there's others as well, but they're going to fight for WBA welterweight title. It's crazy because there's so many different titles and they're all call them world champions. But yeah, that's going to be the big fight in Las Vegas. And Manny hasn't fought for a couple of years since he fought Furman. Okay, other thing I want to go on to is down here in the weekend, the big fights from the UK. Where are we going? Right down here. In the weekend there was fights from Matchroom headquarters. In Eddie Hearn's backyard, as they say, at Matchroom headquarters. The main fight was IBF featherweight title. I actually watched this. It was Kid Galahad. He was actually too good for Jazz Dickens. This was a rematch. Kid Galahad beat him last time, and this time he beat him even more or better this time. It was a stoppage at the end of the 11th round. So Jazz Dickens, he is now the IBF featherweight world champion. But on the undercard there was Fabio Wardley. He had a first round knockout of Nick Webb, which I saw that too. That was really good. Fabio Wardley is going really good. A fighter that I really like is Alan the Savage Babbage. He fought Mark Bennett, and the Savage, as they call him, he's 8-0 now with 8 KOs, and everyone likes him. I only first saw him last year, and he's really exciting fight. He goes out and knocks everyone out. Then also had another heavyweight fight, Johnny Fisher. He was 3-0. He beat or knocked out Danny Whitaker in the first round. And then one of the highlight fights for me was there was an Australian super bantamweight, a female, Ebony Bridges. They call her the bomber. She beat Beck Connolly. And Ebony Bridges' last fight was in the UK on an Eddie Hearn show, a Matchroom show, against Shannon Courtney for the world title. So this was a comeback fight, but it's making her bigger in the UK. So she's going to be real big over there. Her next fight should be really big, but there's nothing on about that at the moment. What's happening with that? Some of the other news. I'll just go back up this way. Where was it? Go back here. There was. What I like to talk about that I saw this morning is our Aussie guy, or your Aussie guy, because I'm a Kiwi. Tim Tszyu, they're trying to get him a fight with Brian Castano. He's the WBO junior middleweight world champion. He just recently said that if they pay him $10 million, he'll come to Australia and he'll swim there and catch a flight back, which is using that. They're just trying to build it up. So hopefully that will happen. I know the Rose brothers from No Limit are talking about putting on a show in November, a 3-day show, like with 3 big cards, having some of our top Aussies fight on that, and the main one will be they're trying to get Tim Tszyu against someone like Brian Castano for the world title, or maybe someone like Harrison. They were talking about Liam Smith, but Liam Smith is now fighting, what's his name? One of the English guys. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, he's gonna fight one of the English guys as well. Yeah, where is it? It's on here somewhere. Okay. So yeah, also there hasn't been any fights in Australia for a few weeks now because of COVID, but there are some big shows coming up. Yeah, like in November they're talking about the No Limit show in Sydney, Melbourne or Brisbane. I don't think it would be in Sydney and Melbourne because of COVID. It could be up here or on the Gold Coast. But yeah, I'll just get to this website. I just want to go over a bit of the results and schedules and stuff. We just want to get into Australia. So I just want to talk about some upcoming fights in Australia. So yeah, on here on Box Rack, they got some fights supposed to happen on the 20th of August in Melbourne. I don't think that will happen. Then there's the 27th of August at Fortitude. That probably could happen. That's at Fortitude Stadium. That's a Steve Della show. It's there's fighters like Eric Sokolov versus Luke Martin, I think, for the Queensland featherweight title. Then you got George Hooper, who's here from the coast, and then against Sunil Singh. And then there's Ankush Hunda or something against Ryan Mitchum. Then also there's a show, I think it's a Jamie Meyer show on the 28th, where there's fighters like Josh Frederiksen, Karen Whitehead, Taylor Robinson, Liam Callahan supposed to be fighting on that, but we don't know for sure who they're fighting yet. Then yeah, there's ones down Melbourne, but don't think they will really happen. The one I wanted to talk about, I think it was October, down the Gold Coast. Oh yeah, here it is. This one down the Gold Coast, I think it's a Tasman Fighters one. There's a lot of good fights on that show. So you got guys like Dana Coolwell from the coast. He's 6-0. He's fighting. You got Ben Kite, who's 18-5, former Australian champion, fighting Darragh Foley. Sam Goodman, 9-0. He's fighting Liam Pope. Liam Pope from the coast as well. I actually know him. They're fighting for the Australian featherweight title. Liam Pope's only 2-0, but he was a top amateur. Then you got Ethan Law, I know him too. He's 5-0 against Adam Stowe. I also know him as well. They're fighting for the Australian National Boxing Federation Australasian middleweight title. And then you got Viaga Opalu, which they call him Django. He's going up against Christian Zoy, which both of those guys have fought Justice Huni, and they both lost him. But Opalu, Django, he was Australian champion, and Christian Zoy was a good amateur boxer. And then you got Clay Waterman against Finn Macklin. I'm not too sure to say this, but I think it's Terry Moana Jr. against David Tuliloa. And then Connor Wallace against Michael Van Norwegian. That should be a good fight as well. Yeah, so hopefully all these shows will happen. We don't really know what's happening with COVID happening at the moment. I was supposed to be fighting myself in 2 weeks, but that got cancelled. because of COVID. And hopefully, a couple of weeks time there should be a few more shows. I want to also preview and review shows like that when I go to little amateur shows, show a bit of the amateur stuff, even some of the pro shows and that. So I want to do profiles, show upcoming fights and stuff as well. Some of the fights that are up and coming soon too in the world is, they always keep talking about Deontay Wilder and Fury fight. That was postponed because of COVID, but Anthony Joshua is fighting Usyk, and that will be a really good fight. It's going to be in front of, I think, 50 or 60,000 fans at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, which will be really good, and going to have a good card on there. It should be a really good fight. So that's about it for today. That's the start. I hope you want to do more and more videos and talk about it, hopefully a couple times a week, tell everyone what's happening with the boxing in the world, Australia, and just get boxing out, showing everyone what's happening with boxing. So till next time, see you later.